Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paladins Summer Premier Qualifiers here. My name is Rain Day, Evan Rayner. This is Nikio Hi-Rez, pretty hair. You just got done witnessing a fantastic set between D69 and Gangstars, and now we're ready to move on to the number 2 set of today, which is D69 versus WASD. Very, very must-win games for both teams. Absolutely.
Still trying to qualify. I think still have a hope if they can win out the rest of their games. I think they're about tied right now. D69 are going to be sitting 2-2. D69, you know, it sounds weird to say, but they've got to win the rest of their matchups as well to have a good chance.
I mean, they're under the gun. A Gangstars showing consistent dominance over them is something that we rarely see in these, I think, qualifiers. Sometimes we see them in
Normally
LAN,
they trade.
but they really do trade. It's so interesting. I think it's a very curious phenomenon with the high-level teams. WSD, they've been showing some high-level stuff themselves. Notably, Creatives is one of the players I want to highlight. His play of Willow and introducing that champion into the meta really has proven well for them.
Yep, WASD, I think as a whole, not afraid to kind of branch out. Serpent Beach is where they will head. Willow, pretty good on this map, but I still like Creative's Bomb King, I think, more than Willow.
Yeah.
D69, if they know that, they're probably just going to prioritize the Bomb King over the Drogos, and it makes kind of a weird thing, right? Because Creatives plays the Bomb King, but Mutustiina plays the Drogos, I think, a little bit better, and they can all play Androxus, which definitely helps them. I think there's like 3 or 4 Godslayer titles on this WASD team, so
they're all the Godslayer.
They've got that champion covered.
Now, taking a look, WASD, they're not necessarily going to prioritize Bomb King here, but they might. Inara taken first, and on Serpent Beach no less. I mean, that wall, pretty good. Doesn't have vertical mobility, but they basically cover that angle of their lineup with Ruckus, who definitely does.
Absolutely. Big tank presence right now for both squads. D69 scooping up the barrack. Will anyone take the Ashe? Will D69 use the Ashe against WASD after kind of what it did to them in the previous set? Who would play it? Probably eLvenpath, I'd imagine. He's kind of the bully player. That's how he used to play as Fernando. WASD are going to scoop their Androxus as well as probably a Drogos.
Now, what we saw earlier is that WASD have gone through this, but now that they have the healer, this is where the Willow has come out as a counter pick, right? It's possible that they'll go with it here. We've also seen Mutustiina love the Cassie. We could see him or Creatives on either one of those, Androxus or the Cassie. And Spunkki is really able to flex. Such a good player who comes from, you know, playing with Gangstars previously at the Paladins Hi-Rez Invitational in January. But Buck and Maldamba rounding it out. Evie, not a bad pick. What are they going for here? Because who's she really pressuring out?
The healer. Going to be Maldamba for the most part, I think. Buck going to be hopping around up on the high ground. I think Maldamba's a little bit easier to pressure out than a Saris.
Yeah, that's true.
So, going to be interesting to see. It's a lot to pay off. Mutustiina will probably be on the Andro in that case. Creatives showing a lot of flexibility for this WSD squad.
So good to see.
Bugzy is going to be on Accelerant, Bomb King, Half Shell for eLvenpath, Makoa, Bounce House for PERDO's Buck, Architectonics for Shipa's Barrack, and a Rapid Gourd for Gerrah's Maldamba.
Unbelievable. We'll be using Mother's Grace and Nara, the legendary of choice here in the pro scene. Reprieve for Eevee, which we've seen so much. Creatives use to good extent. Darkstalker, Androxus for Mutustiina. Mortal Reach, Saris for Spunkki. And Kamyker will be on Aerial Assault. Ruckus, so important for the high ground in this map, Serpent Beach. That's what differentiates this between Jaguar Falls. Being able to get up to the high ground and have that control, so influential in these games. 3
cauterizes for both teams. Bugzy, I think, realizes he's going to be under some pressure from Mutustiina. Goes for a Haven right out of the gate, as opposed to a Wrecker or a Cauterize. You can hear Creatives blinking around, looking for his angles into the ice block early. However, he's under some pressure.
2 bombs sticking onto him. A big stun there from the Grumpy Bomb. Nara can't run away. She fires, slows herself by 40%, but look at Spunkki hiding out in the background. Gets him a full heal, and he's back to action. Bugzy slays Kamyker, and gerrah takes down Mutustiina in the process.
Creatives, as long as he is alive, WASD have a chance. Unbe taking so much damage from Bugzy's Bomb King. Somebody's got to pressure him out right now. Mutustiina was spent back to spawn, so he can't do it right now, but there he is. He's come back, and Bugzy needs to retreat as a result.
And can they deal with Creative's Eevee right now? She's been running around. Creative's still alive, so good at buying extra lives. Kind of like a cat, except she's got 2, but 2 and 2 and 2 again. It just seems like she cannot die with the Troublemaker Rockstar weapon as well. Creative's on a 2 streak and facing off against Bugzy here.
In the Cosmic Ice Block. Nice shot. Adasaur doesn't have his Ice Block available or his Blink, so That small window's all bugzy need. Here comes Mutustiina against PERDO, who's on his way out. Needs to go big here. Landis reversal onto bugzy, back up into the sky, looking for PERDO. One shot, two shot, one more flick shot.
Whoa!
Can he do it mid-share? Mutustiina proving he is still the Andro King.
Nick, you said his name twice there. I want to make sure I still have a co-caster here. Say it 3 times, and he'll come and flick shot you in the head. Mutustiina showing exactly why we have those folklore, those myths, those legends about him. His aim is pretty impeccable, and he's proven it to the point here. WASD take the first objective over D69.
And when Creatives isn't there, Mutustiina steps up. When Mutustiina gets picked, Creatives is there to step up. Good stuff from both squads, and that's the type. Nice. Kills the trap of bugzy as well. Creatives thinking on his toes as well. PERDO, a little bit quiet on his buck thus far.
Very quiet, but that's okay. PERDO, knowing he's gonna wait for the right moment, grabs Mutustiina out of the air. Shipa is helping with that. Barrack just so much damage and consistent damage with the turrets and just with his hit scan weapon. PERDO here still staying alive.
I love that PERDO just uses the base skins on all his champions except for the wrecked weapons.
He loves them. He's a kid at heart, PERDO. Very, very talented Paladins player for D69. We've often called him one of the best, if not the best, Androxus hit scan damage type player in the world. And he's definitely done enough to deserve that. Mutustiina, though, trying to make a name for himself here against bugzy.
Nowhere to go. Out of the frying pan into the fryer, up on the high ground. Bugzy's waiting for him, and now finally has a second to breathe before PERDO comes. A lot of pressure right now from D69. Mutustiina with just nowhere to go.
And they're just pressuring him the right way. They're not trying to one-on-one him. They're just putting him under that situational distress. Every time he goes up or down, there's nowhere for him to hide. Usually a big strength of Andro is being able to shift between vertical levels. Now, almost looking like a negative for him.
That's why we stress high ground control. Buck's up there. Bugzy on his Bomb King is up there. eLvenpath holding down, pulling people off the high ground. There's just a lot of control from this WASD lineup.
Nice stun there by gerrah as well. Probably prefers the Maldamba over the Ceres. We see him have so much impact on setting up team fights with the stuns. There it is. Mutustiina finds one, looking for another on a PERDO. Misses the reversal. Nobody charges it up for him. Not running Godslayer, I believe. So he's going to try and get out and doesn't have a dash. PERDO cleans him up.
Ran out of dashes. And that might be his one weakness, is kind of his escape plan, his game sense. He's got great aim, but getting caught out without dashes is not something you want to do, especially against D69.
And that can come, you know, based off of so many different factors. It could be how well D69 is playing against you, how much they're putting you under pressure, you know, how many angles you have to face, and, you know, is there a clear line of sight for where you can escape? Oftentimes, Mutustiina, he's just caught between a buck and a Bomb King, and it's not a fun situation for him.
Not at all. Cosmic Ice Block looking real clean, though, from Creatives, gotta say. Gotta say.
Yeah, looking good.
Definitely worth. PERDO on a streak, Shipa on a streak, gerrah on a streak, eLven as well. Everybody from D69 on fire right now. Defense, it's gonna hold, but level 2 items come out nonetheless from D69. Bugzy goes into a master riding as well as a Cauterize 1. Cauterize 2 is almost across the board from PERDO, Shipa, eLvenpath, Creatives, Mutustiina, and Unbelievable, who's earned himself a lot of credits. He's got Caught 2, Master Riding 1, and a Rejuve 1 with 200 left in hand. 2 ultimates left online for WASD, whereas D69, they're sitting on 4.
Bugzy trying to collapse onto the right side. Copy bomb thrown out there, and now Inara's in trouble. Goes to the CC immunity, maybe a little bit early. Gonna get stunned out? No, moves away. Kamyker will take that stun, and here's another one for you. Hit King Bomb, comes through, bursts through the shields, and that's 2 kills for D69 right away. Make it 3.
They forced it. They just forced it. Unbelievable. Just walked, holds W towards all of D69. Kind of very telegraphed and
Stolzy?
what he was doing, taking a page out of Stolzy's book. And D69, they just easily spread out, counterpunch with the King Bomb and a couple of ultimates of Dread Serpent as well, and just cleanly take that fight.
I like the King Bombs not being the initiation tool, really, and a lot of players instead saying, hey, I don't need to Poppy Bomb up over them. I could King Bomb from right where I'm standing and do just a good job, almost put them in a more awkward situation. Do I run? Do I go forward? Do I go backwards?
I don't know, man. That's just very ham-fisted initiation from WASD. Easy to see coming, easy to kind of calculate what they need to do to counter it all. D69 handle that team fight masterfully and easily take this second payload.
Talking about mastery, gerrah, I've often talked about this in videos and commentary outside of the esports scene, but Maldamba, one of the hardest champions to master. So many different things he needs to be aware of. Healing his teammates, throwing those stuns, as you can see from long range. He's just looking to set something up, maybe on a lucky strike, but a lot of it has to do with just skill and awareness of the battlefield.
2 minutes remain, up into the air. Cursed Arm is being toyed with. Mutustiina elects to hold it for now. Out of dashes. Doesn't have any more to give. eLvenpath over here on the right side of things. Looking to find a way in. PERDO, though, will find the first kill of the engagement. That hook breaks.
Not going to work out for him. Dash and the hook somehow interact, and the reversal comes out late. eLvenpath able to clean up Mutustiina as a result. Creatives heads back into base. And for good reason, bugzy's on a 10 streak, and this Bomb King is this burst. 2 bombs, he can actually kill an Eevee with just that. He's a great counter to having her on the opposite team.
Mutustiina getting up pretty early in this fight. Bugzy's gonna call it out, I would imagine, for his team.
Wow!
But there's a huge wombo combo coming off the back of the Ice Storm and the Convergence.
What a play there by everyone from WASD. Gets stunned down, and maybe not the best part of the highlight, but Mutustiina stays alive. And again, Nick, that's just patience by all of them.
Execution as well, locking it all down. Does cost them a lot for it, though. 3 ultimates to win that team fight. I think they probably could have got it done with just Convergence and a Cursed Arm, or just Convergence and an Ice Storm.
Yeah.
But D69, I think they're happy with that trade. They get all the ultimates out. D69 sitting on 5 ultimates. They're really happy with their chances at this conversion.
A Cursed Arm and Convergence is 4,000 damage, not including whatever anyone else throws into the pot, whatever Saris throws into the pot herself.
Saris is good for 1,000.
So you're talking about pretty much a guaranteed team wipe. It's one of the strongest combinations, maybe outside of Barrage, which is, again, super, super strong. Can get you up to, I believe, 4,500, which is a little bit more than Androxus by himself. It takes a little longer. Shipa with 2 kills here. 10 seconds left. WASD looking to push this.
Fire comes through. Doesn't find any kills just yet. Kamyker's actually going to lose his life for it. There's still plenty of members of D69 here to try and punch this through. Dome Shield's going to buy at least 6 seconds. A lot of time still on the table for D69.
Yeah, Shipa almost gets the Dome Shield off. Not quite. Here's another Convergence. Are you kidding me? Another one. Double kill for Mutustiina. And he gets stunned out of the air. Gerrah showing his class as well, but the flick shot. It's too good. It's magisterial. This man's aim is on another plane.
Cash money. And not only that, but Mutustiina with a morale boost too is keeping up with Spunkki in terms of these convergences. That had another Cursed Arm ready to go for that wombo combo, and just all of that setup and the pack-a-punch to drive it home. Mutustiina with the morale boost too, which is pretty uncommon to see Androxus going for that. Normally he goes all in on those cauterizes and goes into more defensive stuff. Not a real staple as it is, at least on Saris.
Not at all. Rabu's coming through though, because, you know, Nick, it's important to have a vision. Sometimes a poorly, a bad plan really executed well, or a simple plan executed well is better than the most complicated or the best executed not to perfection, and that's what they're doing. Convergence into a Cursed Arm. It works. Let's keep on doing it. So far, though, you know what else works, too? 1,800 shots right there. Bugzy totaling all the damage he needs to force WASD away from each other, out of the fight. Grumpy Bomb does the rest, and he takes down Unbelievable.
Left out to dry. Poor little Unbe. eLvenpath taking a bunch of damage. Creative soars up and out of the fight. PERDO's here. Defensive positioning. Pops the recovery as well, just to keep himself safe. WASD do scoop 42% on at that point, but 54 and already climbing. D69 definitely in control.
And this is difficult. Nice ice block. This is what you want to do as Eevee. Let the Ice Storm do its work, put him under pressure, escape from the play, and come in and take down off of maybe low health targets, but Kamyker falls. eLvenpath picks up 2 here, trying to carry the weight for his team and make sure they can qualify for Valencia.
Yeah, but 2 more kills come through. D69 already scooped the payload, and they had plenty more in the tank. Buck Wild, almost a Dread Serpent and a Dome Shield to secure that payload. D69 still sitting pretty. They're not relying on hefty wombo combos. They get it done with just 1 ultimate.
And that's always been a staple of Paladins. You do not need ultimates to turn tides of a game. And oftentimes you don't see pros invest in that very often, but it can be a viable strategy with certain character combinations and on certain maps for sure, where maybe the fighting is a little bit more together, very much so like on Serpent Beach and these pushes. They're going to have to be aware of dealing with these Mutustiina and Spunkki combos.
legitimately never used this flank route.
It's because you're not Mutustiina, man.
Something you learn every day. Lands that reversal, just has plenty of dash, it's just a float. And Droxus doesn't need the map.
He doesn't need anything. He just goes in with the revolver and starts shooting. These flick shots almost have a premonition aspect to them, like he's seeing the future. Maybe he's just taking a little bit of, you know, advice from Saris and just saying, yes, he's going to be there. I know it. Turns around, hits him perfectly in the head. It's magical.
He's not of this world. I went back and watched that clip this week. It was actually Cuss Cutie that got flicked.
No way.
Into the Shadow Realm. And our own Jake Jenkins.
Our very own Cuss Cutie. And Mutustiina, he's not taking it easy on anybody. 5 streak for Creatives and 3 streak for Androxus, the God Slayer, as they defend this push with their lives. This win matters so much. Dread Serpent couldn't come out.
Really nice angle there for Creatives, but they only get 1, 4 for 1 in favor of D69. Make it a 5 for 1 as PERDO tracks down Creatives and sends him home. And D69 are inching ever closer to this conversion point. Mutustiina up over here, looking to sit up on this ledge. Here comes the Wombo combo, but just coming up dry.
Great stuff, though. They set it up yet again, but unfortunately just doesn't get anything from the convergence. It's a bit too late. Mutustiina starts the ult early, gets bugzy as a result. Maybe that's enough. That's all they might need, but PERDO and eLvenpath and Shipa are content to be at the bottom under the shell shield. They survive and give D69 the first win of this set. So Nick, now this means that D69 are on the precipice of really, I think, cementing their place in second place if they win this next game over WASD.
That's what they're looking for, and they fooled them once, they fooled them twice. They couldn't get the fool 3 times, and really, I mean, Mutustiina's just there to blast all the kills. It's all on Spunkki to be able to hit that convergence, but D69 quickly wised up to their shenanigans and were able to keep themselves all safe from the convergence. 15-5 from PERDO's Buck.
0-12 here by Kamyker, not having the best game. Very just kind of outlier stat there, not getting any killing blows. 12 assists does contribute, but still kind of on the lower end of that. And again, didn't come out on the winning team. So that's going to be a big difference as to why you don't see that happening. But Ruckus fires very fast, still contributes 60k damage. I wonder if this is going to be something that they really look towards in the next game. Ruckus very good, but didn't really work out in that one.
Got to figure something else out in the draft. Eevee wasn't really the answer. The Buck worked out fairly well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a quiet 15-5, right? It didn't feel like he had, you know, this amazing KD going through that, but he's always there just to track down kills, keep control of the high ground. If anybody comes to him, PERDO's probably going to lock it down, and he was good at tracking down Eevee as well, one of the few characters that can keep up with her.
Absolutely, right there. Stonekeep going to be the next map for them. These two teams, they fought on this map quite a bit. In ESL, this is where they actually brought out the Willow. So this is where Creatives may be looking to go back to that. If we're looking at the signature drafts, they're going to pick their healer, they're going to pick their core, damage, and tanks, and then leave that last pick open to flex on maybe a Willow, maybe a Drogos. We didn't see Drogos in this last matchup, which is kind of odd.
Definitely didn't want first pick going the way. They're still going to stick with it. Kamyker.
I don't know, man.
Ruckus. Whether it's Unbelievable or whether it's Kamyker, one of them I think could play this character very well. Unbelievable is normally,
Ruckus.
He's normally the Ruckus guy. But D69, they're content to just snag up Mako and Barrack again.
Interesting, because Kamyker usually, I think, will jump onto the Barrack. So I wonder what this is going to mean for WASD, drafting away maybe some comfort picks there, trying to isolate that.
Maybe they know that.
And put him on something that maybe he's not feeling too good on. The Inara and the Ruckus, I don't know. It might be Kamyker right back onto the Ruckus. Inara there for Unbelievable. But they take the Bomb King, which Spunkki has played often. Creatives plays that too.
Creatives, very good Bomb King, and I think it's smart to get him that earlier on D69 with the Saris. Maybe an Andro as well to keep their Drogo safe. No, they're going to take the Drogos now, leave Andro open.
Very spicy.
To Mutustiina.
Ooh. Mutustiina has played the Cassie here and done well, but the Buck is definitely, to me, it's going to dissuade the Cassie pick, and it is going to maybe look like more of obviously taking the Maldamba to get that healer rounding things out. But here's where District 69 could be funky. Knowing they need the healer, so interesting. I mean, because easily WASD could have taken the Andro there instead of the Buck.
Absolutely.
What's going on in their mind?
I think WASD maybe assumed D69 wanted it. Taking the Buck. We see it most often on Serpent Beach just to control the high ground, but high ground control isn't something that's super necessary on, not that it's not necessary on Stone Keep, but it's not something that's literally unreachable for most characters. Like, you can walk up there, it just takes a long time, but it can be a little bit quicker.
It's a quicker walk than kind of Serpent Beach, actually.
Yeah, it's just jump, hop, skip, and away. Mother's Grace for Unbelievables and Nara. It's going to be Accelerant for Creatives. Bomb King Mutustiina on the Bounce House, but Kamyker with Aerial Assault on his Ruckus and Ripened Gourd for Spunky's Aldamba. It
will be Bugzy deciding what he's going for. Darkstalker Androxus for PERDO. Gerrah on Mortal Reach Ceres. Architectonics Barrack from Shipa. eLvenpath on Half Shell Makoa yet again, and Worm Jets for Bugzy. He's going to be trying to fly quickly, and reminiscent of the title there, level 20 Eevee, the Winter Witch. He's going to be looking to take to the skies and just use his mobility to escape the Buck on the side of WASD.
Cauterizes early, Earthing Guard popped, and nobody's even really looking at Unbelievable, so pretty early use of that cooldown. First blood, Kamyker is going to go down, PERDO free firing.
And that is just, again, the weakness that has been shown in WASD. Kamyker on that Ruckus, not having the strongest of performances. They go right for him, whether he's out of position or whether D69 uses this as a tactic to their advantage. They take him down, and everything else snowballs as a result.
42% captured. We said the exact same thing last time. Unbelievable just sitting on the point. And the opposite of what we saw from the Gangstars D69 set, where they are not worried about the point until the fight is won. WASD, they're parking somebody on the point and losing the fight almost every time.
And now with Inara, you know, in Europe, it's kind of become the idea that Inara can't be that flanker anymore, that bruiser, because of the slow on her weapon shot. It just makes her unable to do anything but stand still. So they're trying to play to her strengths, but it is not working. Bugzy mid-air shot on a Mutustiina in the Get Wrecked spray. What skill there. Mutustiina stands and accepts his fate after all of his jumps are down.
That one hurts too. I mean, Bugzy doesn't spray often, but I think that was even a clean enough shot for him to recognize, hey man, you got destroyed there a little bit. I'm gonna talk about it.
That was beautiful. I mean, turns around, left, right, mid-air, staring down. Incredible play. We're talking about Mutustiina so much, and Bugzy steals the show right there from under his feet. Unbelievable, left alone yet again.
Jeez.
And this is not looking good. PERDO on a rampage and a 9 streak for him.
And eLvenpath picking up his double kill on the backside of things. Just absolute dominance on all fronts here from D69. WASD struggling to get out of spawn.
And that's the confidence too. Just going back to that play Bugzy has with his Drogos. He's fine relying only on direct shots to win his fights. And that is something that not a lot of players in this meta really can do. They really rely on the combustible. They rely on maybe the Fusillade. Random Noob, the only one that really, you know, speaks to me as a guy really relying on those direct Drogo shots.
Winding it up, coming up over the railing here, looking for something, looking for anything. He's going to find Unbelievable, and he gets out safely. That is the difference here from Bugzy in last set versus this set. There's just not enough pressure on the field right now from WASD.
Great pathing as well. Takes himself to the left-hand side, so there's nowhere for Inara to go except into his Dragon Punch or into the enemy team. It's perfect capitalization of the positioning of WASD, and Creatives comes through with 2 big kills, shutting down the 2 tanks on D69, installing this push.
He's going to need a lot of big kills to swing this one around. It's looking all D69 thus far. Bugzy putting a ton of damage in after that Dragon Punch, already back to 56%.
Again, and that's mostly off direct shots. Fire Spits aren't getting the extra bonus that Combustible would have offered, and they're definitely not displacing the team, so he's just doing this work himself. It's hard work for a Drogos out here. But Bugzy makes it look easy. Unbelievable with the Earthen Guard, just trying to withstand this as much as possible, but they're kind of slowly getting chipped down.
Slow value. Here comes the Ancient Rage. Big salvo. Fire Spit could come out as well. Direct shots are all they'll need to shut down WASD entirely in that fight. 2 ultimates used. D69 looking like this conversion is all but assured.
And this is big, I think, points for D69 here. They know how important this is. They're waiting for the respawn, though. WASD playing it patient. Mutustiina jumps in just to take away the overtime, and Bugzy with the fadeaway shot gets a big play and a big damage boon for his team here on to Unbelievable.
Oh! A nice Fire Spit, still all in control. Let's see if they even need to use these ultimates. PERDO will throw out the Accursed Arm, getting himself a double kill. So D69 find the conversion at the cost of 3 ultimates.
Who are they going to go for, Nick? I mean, Bugzy or PERDO, pick your poison.
It's just too much to handle right now. Still plenty of ults, though, on the side of WASD. Could potentially bring this one back, and this is not good. It's all red by large margins as well on the side of the damage charge. Creatives on his Bomb King, the only one breaking into the top 5, and the tanks of D69 are breathing down his neck.
45,000 damage for PERDO, and bugzy leading the charge so much so that 4 members out of the 5 top damage dealt goes to D69, and that's including 2 tanks. So Mutustiina on the buck pick, still looking so odd to me, given the fact that he went away from the Androxus when it was open to choose this.
Yeah,
hasn't had a lot of success.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they just ignore it. There comes the Dragon Punch as well. Bugzy's going to find Unbelievable.
Oh my God!
Gets out of this fight as well. 1 rocket, so 2 for 1. Bugzy pulls his weight and then some.
Are you kidding me? And now PERDO able to clean up on aisle WASD. D69 go ahead and make it 63% onto the objective and cement the attitude that is, we are the elite team here.
Nice job dismounting. Unbelievable as well. It's going to buy them all the more capture progress. 90%. Flip the shotgun. Mutustiina's looking for something. They're going to find 2 for O. D69 might have a chance at holding this defense.
Already take creatives down. That's a big no-no for WASD, but they'll survive for now. Bugzy smartly retreating, and this is important. They don't have any respawn timers. They can re-engage at any point in time, maybe even a fire spit here to get a little bit of poke started, and that is a big difference from going down, getting that kill.
Salvo up into the air. It's going to be good damage onto the point. Unbelievable. Mutustiina needs to be careful. Doesn't want to lose this fight. 2 times out of 2. Still trying to pressure out Bugzy. He's getting a lot of healing, but so is Bugzy, who can win this fight for their squad.
Can't believe he stayed alive, too. Is he going to find a kill on the spunkki? Almost hits the direct hit. Fire spit will clean it up. Bugzy getting healed up by gerrah. It's just amazing team play from D69. The convergence to seal the deal. eLvenpath grabs 1. Bugzy grabs 2 more. And D69 grab their 3rd objective of the game.
Off to the races now, looking for conversion, looking for their spot at DreamHack Valencia. If they can win out their matchups here today, this will be a big win for them against WASD. They're already up 1-0 in the set. This is all they need. This conversion stands between them and the victory on the set.
And this is what they want. They need another chance at Gangstars. They cannot drop this game. WASD, they're in the same position. They've got to beat D69 to take the 2nd spot here. But so far, things look to be crumbling. The game plan, the draft, the execution, it's not what they expected. And they may just be staring at not being able to get to land here unless they can change the dynamic within the next 2 minutes.
Salvo comes up onto the high ground. Not a whole lot of value for it. PERDO gets solo ulted in the back line. He's going to lose his life for it, but those are the types of trades with 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining. I think D69 are content to take that.
A minute. Like you said, 30 seconds left. Ultimate's ready for Bugzy. eLvenpath, PERDO. Still half charged away for Shipa, who goes down right now. And gerrah on a 17 streak is the Ceres, looking to find more as she consistently helps this fight and keeps them alive. Bugzy looks for the duel against Mutustiina. He says, get back here, boy. I'm the hitman in this battlefield. And oh boy, he's gonna finish it off himself. Definitely secures that.
It's watching that buck try and burst down the Ceres. I'm just like, boy, I bet you wish you were Androxus right now, don't you?
Yep. And there's just no, I think, substitute for a solid draft, and to me, absolutely outdrafted was WASD here. It happens, definitely. It's just a bad time to have it happen, especially when your back's against the wall and you're looking to qualify.
Yeah, I don't know if outdrafts is the right word. If you just like, I don't know, that just feels like Androxus is there and you just take the buck. I don't know, maybe they thought D69 wanted buck, but again, I always advise don't go at D69's champion pool. It's too deep. You're not going to take enough away from them, especially without bans, to really hurt them.
Mutustiina is not a 1-6 player. He's not a 35,000 damage player, finding himself in the middle of the pack. This just was not the champion selection for him. I don't know who made the call. I don't know why. They had their reasons. I'm sure they were valid. But if you take this game over again, what big change do you make in that draft? Considering what you had available, I think it's totally, you take Androxus instead of buck this time around. Like you said, who cares what D69 are bringing to the table? I need to feel comfortable. And he had a great game the game before on Andro.
As well as I think it's a better answer against Bugzy Strogos,
absolutely.
Who was 16-1, 74,000 damage top in the game. It's just strange to me.
Absolutely.
You know, not only, PERDO's a great buck, sure, but any day of the week, I think Androxus is a better champion than buck.
Yes.
I think Mutustiina especially can go toe-to-toe with PERDO's buck if he has Androxus. I don't think it's going to go the other way around, however.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and it's not that, you know, speaking from a high horse here, it's just looking at what's available. You know, you got a guy who's hot, who's feeling good, has a great game. You guys come very close, have some clutch defenses, and then he has the champion he can go back for, champion he made his name off of.
Yeah.
You don't take it. To me, that just strikes like, you know, I think it's so important to keep all your teammates feeling good, and WASD probably learned from that one. They take the loss, D69 get a great win. They put themselves that much closer, almost securing their trip, essentially securing their trip here if they continue to do well into Valencia.
Yep, we've got couple more sets left up on the docket for the day, guys. WASD are going to have their doubleheader now, their chance at Flashpoint. That'll be the next set up for the day.
And we'll see you guys after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Let us know who you think is going to win. See you right after this.